Hello, hello. Welcome to my page. I'm Ashley with Willow's Home Decor. If you're seeing this part, you're probably watching on the replay. And if you're on YouTube, this was filmed on Facebook, and I'm going to put it on my YouTube page because that's where it's going to go to live. But I am here to do a quick tutorial on how to make this adorable little spider. So this is a small version, and then I have one that you can see is a bigger version that I'm gonna do. So the wire that comes with that one is a lot thicker, but yeah, I'm gonna show you how to paint it and how to put it together. You only need black and white paint if you want to do it like how I did it. And then I have some just random Halloween ribbons, or like black and white polka dot ribbons, just kind of stuff that I had laying around. So the file will, when you purchase the blanks, they will include the blank, the wood pieces, and then you will get the wire. You will not get the ribbons because I don't have a ton of the ribbon. I just am using kind of what I have on hand. So you can do the same, or you can purchase some if you need it, or you don't have to have a ribbon at all. So it's just kind of up to you. So I'm going to show you step by step how I go about making this little guy, and you can see how quick and easy it is. So what I like to do first is the eyeballs are the white pieces, so that's going to be a separate piece, and then everything else will be black. So let's see here. I like to put I'm going to see if I'm on here just to make sure, and if any comments come up, because I can't always see them on the phone. So I like to use painter's tape, or you can use like masking tape, and put my smaller pieces on that because holds it down for me, so it's a lot easier to paint. And then I use makeup wedges to do 99% of my painting for wood blanks. So it is really quick and easy, and yeah, I mean, it's way faster than using a brush. And I've had lots of classes where I've told people, just trust me, use a makeup wedge. And then they come to me and they're like, wow, that was way faster. So, okay, so I'm going to start by painting my white, because that's probably going to need a couple of coats. So these blanks are cut out of 1/8 inch MDF, and so it's not too crazy thick when you layer it, but you are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers when you're done. And I did a reel on this little guy, and it's getting a lot of views, so I thought it would be a good idea to come on here and just do a full-on tutorial on how to put them together. Okay, so I'm going to let my white piece go ahead and dry. Okay. Got something in there. Okay, and then the rest of the pieces are going to be black. So there are 3 large, what are these called? Ovals. This one is just a solid one. You're going to paint that one. This one is where you're going to glue in your legs, which I'll show you. So you don't need to paint that one, and you don't need to paint this back one unless you want to paint the back side for whatever reason. And yeah, so I'm only going to paint these 2, and then my eyes. Okay, so for this, I'm going to get a good amount of paint on my wedge, and I'm just going to kind of Hopefully you can see that. Slide it around. And like I said, you could use a brush for this if you wanted, but I find this easier. And then I don't have to clean brushes because I really am terrible at cleaning brushes. Even for my classes, I'll have a paint class and then the brushes will sit there and need to be washed. Or I just give them throwaway brushes. Hi, Holly. Thanks for coming and thank you for sprinkling that. I appreciate it. So with these eyeballs, with the black part, you are going to fit these inside of the white here. So try to be careful about getting paint all over the edges. If you don't get too much paint on your makeup sponge, then you should be all right. But if you do, you can just kind of wipe it off on the edges. You want to be careful with things that fit together like that, because if you get too much paint on the sides, then they will not fit back together. And ask me how I know. I've had that happen, and I've had it happen in class a few times, and thankfully it all worked out and we were able to kind of sand pieces down or clean them off to get the pieces to fit back together. But in that instance, you want to make sure that you don't get a lot of paint on the sides. So this is going to need a couple of coats probably. And if you don't put on too much paint, it will dry fast. So like this one's almost dried. I was trying to figure out what ribbon I'm gonna use, and some of it's got glitter on it. So there's glitter everywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and do one more coat on the white. First, I gotta get some glitter off of there. And you also will need a heat gun for this. That's what I used anyways. That's what I would suggest. I suppose you could use other types of glue, but that might take a while to dry. But I just used a heat gun, and it's quick and held my legs in no problem. So I'm going to show you how I do that part. If you don't have a heat gun, they are fairly inexpensive, but you could try using another type of glue. That might be, I don't know if it's the E600. I don't ever use that, but I think that one's kind of thick, if I'm remembering correctly. You'll want something that's kind of thick, that's going to fill in that space and hold your legs in. I was thinking the other day this would be kind of fun to do different color, maybe like purple or green. But I figured for this tutorial, I was going to keep it the classic black and white. But I would love to see how other people do that. And just as a reminder, this is what we're making, but we're making a bigger version of this one. Okay, so we gotta get those drying. So while those are drying, I'm gonna work on my legs. So for the legs, I have just some metal wire, some wire, and these are probably about, I don't know, I just kind of randomly cut them. Let's see. I'm thinking they're like 6 inches. Yeah, about 6 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, this is just a paintbrush, and I'm going to take that and I'm just going to twist the wire, the end of the wire around that. And you can just do it once or twice. It's just kind of giving it a little fun twist instead of having just those straight legs. So I already did a few of them, just so I didn't have to sit here and do all 8. Let's see. So this wire is nice and flexible, so it bends really easily. So it makes that easy to do. So the kit will come with the wire legs already cut for you. And you could cut them down if you feel like you want them to be a little shorter. I just use some like little, this is like a jewelry tool, but any kind of like wire snipper type thing will work for that. And then you're gonna have a longer piece, which is like double the size. And I use that as my hanger. So you'll see I put it in there and then I like gave it a twist part of the way up. And that's where also I'm gonna secure my little bow too. So you'll get all those pieces. The only thing you won't get is paint, and you're not gonna get ribbon. I just don't have a lot of Halloween ribbon, and it's probably more fun for you to choose your colors to go with however you want to do it. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more on this, and then I'm just going to hit these with my heat gun, get those going. I got some glitter in here, but that's okay. It'll probably be all over by the time I'm done tying this ribbon. Okay, and then I did mine, you can see, really rustic around the edges, just really distressed that. So I'm using this finger sander with a 220 grit on it. These can be purchased on Amazon. They're really inexpensive. They also have them at like Lowe's and Home Depot. And they come with a whole bunch of different grits, so if you need a heavier grit for something. So I'm just going around my edge, and then I'm going to do a little heavier in some places, just to give it a little variation. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing here with the top piece. I'm going to use my little desk vacuum. It's come in very handy and things like this. And depending on how distressed you want it, you could go over the whole piece, but I just kind of stick to the edges. Okay, and then I'm going to do the white part of the eyes. I did not do the black part that goes inside. And I'm just doing the outside of this. I'm not doing the interior part. Let's see. Get in there better. There we go. Okay, so now we can, I mean, that's all the painting that you have to do, so I can start gluing things together. So I'm going to start by gluing these pieces together, and I don't know if they're exactly the same on both sides. You have to kind of make sure they line up correctly. Okay, so I'm going to glue this. So this is your back piece. And I'm going to glue this part, and it has these holes in it, or whatever you want to call those, cut-ups along the side. And that's where your legs are going to go. And I'm using art glitter glue. It is great. It dries clear and permanent. But you also have a little bit of time to move around, unlike like super glue or stick fast CA glues. But it dries faster than, say, like a wood glue. Okay, so I'm getting those on, getting that lined up. And then before I glue the other pieces to this, I'm going to we're gonna hot glue the legs in. But I think, let's see, I'm gonna wait until I do that. So I'm gonna hot glue the legs. So I have all my legs here, 4 for each side. And then my middle piece. And you'll probably want something to protect your finger from the hot glue, because you're going to need to really press that in there to make sure that it adheres. And then I'll show you, you don't want to get crazy. Try to keep your glue below the top of this, because when you want your next piece to fit flush on there. And so last time I just took my sander and just kind of sanded it to make sure that it fits. So I'll probably do that again. So I'm just going to put some glue in here. Whoop. And then just stick that in there. And I'll probably put a little bit more on top, just to make sure that really sticks on there. So you can see, like, I got a little bit too much glue all over, so I'll just come back and sand that so it sits flush. And should be able to do a couple. Hopefully I don't run out of glue. Now you can just go in and stick that in there. And then I'm going to put a little more glue on top. Just a little, if it'll come out. There we go. so those are just gonna dry. So that cools down pretty quick, so, and you'll still be able to flex your legs, which is cool. So you can move your legs around however you want them. Okay, so we'll do the other side. Okay. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna just add a little more glue on the top here, just in case. And then for this piece, I just folded it in half. So this is the longer piece. I just am gonna fold it in half and put those, you can't, I guess you could twist it now if you wanted to. You just wanna make sure it's gonna fit in that space there. So at the top, you'll have that space, and that's where this piece goes. A good amount of glue in there. Stick that in. Okay. So if you need to, you can go just like along and scrape off some of that excess glue. I don't need that anymore because it's all dry. The only thing I don't like about this glue gun is this little stringy pieces you always get are annoying sometimes. Okay, put that back. So I'm just going to use my little sander and go along the tops of these just to make sure it's flush with the wood. So that the next piece sits on there flush. Okay, I think we're good. So you don't want to use too much hot glue. You can kind of peel it off if you need to. A heavier grit would probably be helpful for this. You can see it starting to come together. I need to clean that out. All right, so I didn't glue this piece on yet because I wanted to make sure that I do it the correct direction. So I made this file for myself. And so the shapes are not, these are all the same size shape, if that makes sense. But it's not the same size on both sides, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense. You just want to make sure that you get it the correct direction so that it is going to be flush around the edges. And I got freaking hot glue spider webs everywhere. Okay, so I got that figured out. So now I'm going to glue this piece on. Whoop. Get crazy. Just trying to make sure my edges are all lined up. Okay, and then this piece, it doesn't really matter which side you use. And so for this one, I flushed it up to the bottom piece here. Thinking I might do the same thing. You could go bring it down a little bit if you wanted to add a little, I don't know, let's see. What do you think? Should I come down with it a little bit? Leave it flush. And then you have your eyeballs are gonna go on. I think I'll just do it flush to the bottom. And then this piece, I'm just gonna eyeball it to center it. And then you can glue your eyeballs on. And this you could go over, maybe like if you want to make them look kind of buggy, bugging out, but I'm going to just do it like I did the other one. And I'm just flushing the bottom of this up to this smaller oval. And then I'm going to put a little glue in the middle and find my inside pieces. And then those will just pop in. Pretty simple. Oh, that did not help. Let's see if it's... And then, okay, so that's what it looks like before I put any ribbon on it. And you could kind of bend these legs if you want. Oh, that's not, that moved on me. Okay. So there's that. Isn't that cute? And so simple. I saw the idea on Pinterest. I was like, I have got to make this. So I just whipped up a little file for myself, and then I thought I'd share it with you. Okay, so I am going to do the little ribbon on it because I just think that's so cute. Like I said, I don't have a lot of great Halloween ribbons, but I kind of threw together some different ones. So I'm just doing, can't remember what they call these type of bows, but they're just cut, like smaller cut pieces, and I'm just gonna crisscross them. I feel like it's like a junk bow or something. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. So I have some stripes and polka dots, and then I had some this random purple like sheer ribbon, and then this one has stripes. I want to say these were from Joann's like years ago. I don't even know where you get ribbon. Hobby Lobby doesn't sell Halloween, so you're not going to find it there. Maybe on Amazon, maybe Michael's. I don't know. I don't ever go in Michael's, hardly ever. Okay, so I'm just kind of mixing and matching here. So I have these small, I'm going to just add these smaller pieces. And then I had this already cut, so I might throw these in there. Some spider ribbons. And then this one is a fun one. I think this is from Hobby Lobby. This is a reversible messy bow. Yes. Junky messy bow. Okay. And then I have this one. So, okay. So then to put this together, you need a piece of twine. And you're just gonna, so you can see I just kind of just made a mess. Crisscrossed those. So then I'm gonna take my twine and go across the middle. And then I'm gonna bring it around the back because I don't want to see the knot in the front. And pull it tight. Well, you kind of try to scrunch it. Scrunch those pieces together and then pull it. Oh, then pull it tight. You can play with it once you, I should have put this other, I better do that. I better add that one in. I'm just gonna slip that in the front. More Spideys. Okay, so I'm just gonna tighten that and then tie a knot. And then I'll probably just kind of trim this down. And I just straight cut these. I didn't like cut any special angles, but you can just cut it at an angle. You can do bring the two together and cut it like that. Dovetail, I think that's called, yeah. I'm just gonna randomly cut these at an angle. Some of them I already did that too. And you could tie it in the middle with not with a piece of twine, but with, you know, another piece of ribbon. Just depends on the look you want. Okay, we're almost in. Hopefully this looks cute. It's kind of big. I had just, you know, you never have the ribbon that you actually need when you need it. Oh, shoot. I have a ton of ribbon. I never use it. And I always think like, oh, I'm going to use it on this door hanger. This is so cute. And I buy it. And then I like never end up using it. Okay. And then so you can, I kind of crisscross these already. So they're already spread out, but you can pull the ribbons out to the side. Some of these are wired ribbons and some of it's not, just to kind of fluff it up. Okay, now all I did was take my twine, because I left that on there, and I just put it around my wire hanger. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then I just tied it in a knot so that it stays on there on the bottom. And there you have it. All right, well, I was worried about that ribbon, but that turned out pretty cute. It's just kind of random Halloween ribbons. And if you have excess, you can just cut this off. I'm going to tie another knot on there just in case. And trim that off. And I just left my back piece raw, but you can paint it if you want to. Some people like to do that, but nobody's going to see it if it's hanging. And then if you want, you can twist this some more. There she is. So cute. So this is just a quick, fun Halloween. I had to throw that in there in between my Christmas in July. But I wanted to make sure I did a little tutorial. So the blank, the wood pieces, and the wire, I have that. I listed that on my Etsy shop, so you can purchase it if you want to. You could just probably buy the pieces yourself if you want. Some wood rounds and some wire and glue it all together. But if you want to do it how I did it, I have the kit all ready for you. You'll just need paint and your glue and your ribbon. All right. Well, let me know if you're going to try it out, and make sure you send me pictures if you do. Have a fantastic weekend. We will be celebrating the 4th on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that, having barbecue with family and then just hanging out, and then we'll be hiding out in the evening from the fireworks with the dogs. Okay, well, have a happy Thursday. It feels like it's Friday already. Yeah, you gotta make this. All right. Thanks for always being here, Holly. I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys later.